welcome to another video by me. This is gonna be kind of short because it's really not that too difficult a concept. But yeah, basically Goku versus Goku, or Ben Tennyson versus Goku. Now for this, I'm going to be considering everything up to the Omniverse show for Ben. And for Goku, I will be considering everything up to, well, the granola stuff, I guess. Well, the granola stuff actually hasn't finished, so I'm not actually going to use that because I really don't want to say something and then they come out with a chapter that says, no, Goku actually was holding back, or he's stronger than Beerus now, or something like XYZ. So, first off, let's start with Goku. Now, Goku ever since the Buu arc has always been a universal threat. Um, so like since the Buu stuff, he was affecting the Kaioshin. He was fighting someone who was threatening to destroy the Kaioshin world. Kaioshin world orbits the macrocosm, and the macrocosm contains like our universe, and if it's and the macrocosm is at least universal in size, and infinite, well, multiple infinite realms. So by default, the Kaioshin realm should at least also be infinite in size, so like universal. There's also the fact that Buhan was going to collapse multiple dimensions. The Kais, I don't think there was a reference to the Kai world or the afterlife being made, so these are completely separate dimensions from that, I think. And that leads into the argument of, is the Kaioshin realm and the afterlife in heaven and hell, like, are those higher dimensional? I'd say that there's an argument for it, but Goku doesn't scale to the whole macrocosm. He scales to the Kaioshin realm, sure. And he definitely scales to multigalactic, but he does not, and I repeat, does not scale to something like, he doesn't scale to something like Battle of Gods. So once we reach Beerus in the Super Saiyan God fight, he's actually affecting this macrocosm. He says verbatim, like, I don't think there's any level of training I could do to beat Beerus without this Super Saiyan God form. He couldn't train to get the Super Saiyan God form, which sort of implies to me that this Goku's power was like anywhere from like still in the finite ranges, so just multigalactic, and then he reached infinite ranges with the universe and stuff, which I think is the case. So like Goku was originally multigalactic or something, and then once he reached the Super Saiyan God stuff, he got infinitely stronger. Or it becomes a matter of he was like already affecting the infinite Kaioshin realm, but like it's sort of how, this is a weird example. Let's say we have infinity, 1 up to the literal infinity for instance. Now let's say that Goku's power is infinite, right? Let's say we agree to that. Now, if I were to just say every number in infinity that has 1 in it, there are an infinite amount of numbers with 1 in it, but it's still encompassed within a greater infinity, because like there are then numbers with 2, 3, etc., ad infinitum. So it could be something like that. Now, I think it was more so that Goku's power was originally finite, and now it's grown to this sort of infinite range in the Battle of God stuff. But yeah, after that, he was able to affect heaven. He was able to, which sort of seems to me to be higher dimensional, kind of. I've heard scaling for that, but let's give it to them. Let's say heaven is a 4th dimensional. Let's then say that the Kaioshin realm is still 3D, I guess, or maybe 4D. Let's give them 42. everything but the universe. Yeah, and it's different time spaces too, so it's multiple time spaces. So yeah. Now, during the battle, Goku absorbs this god form into his base. Um, okay, so you could argue that he's now that level. I know a lot of people are like, no, he didn't. Yes, he did. So for today's reasons and purposes, since I already gave him the fact that having supposedly higher dimensional, I'm just gonna leave it off as um, no, as in like no, he didn't absorb it, even though the movie and other stuff clearly shows otherwise. We then get Super Saiyan Blue. Super Saiyan Blue should be at least, well, the fact that Goku trained after the whole Battle of God shenanigans probably means that he got maybe, let's do it like, let's do just say he got 10 times stronger. Now with the Super Saiyan Blue, he'd be 500 times stronger in Resurrection F or Resurrection of Frieza. After that, etc., etc. Um, Goku by the beginning of the Tournament of Power is anywhere from he's anywhere from billions to possibly quadrillions of times stronger than Battle of Gods, which means he should be able to affect quadrillions of four-dimensional universes. Four-dimensional universes with a time. So like I meant fourth dimension in the past contextually as higher dimensional, not as a temporal dimension. Um, but yeah. So let's say Goku is 40, and he can. Uh, Goku's pretty solidly 40, and he can affect time, or affect in multiple times and spaces. Additionally, during the Zamasu arc, he said like if I had another sensu being, and that sort of implied to me that he just straight up got the power. Like after the whole battle, he got to a level that was like able to that would have been able to fight Mugen Zamasu, who literally was merging with the timeline, and even Beerus and Whis felt it. So I'd say that Goku's strength I'll say Goku's strength is 5D, okay? Goku's strength is 5-dimensional. Now, his speed, um, Goku should scale above his own ki and how fast his ki moves, so Goku should be, he should at least have infinite speed. He was able to move in a realm without time, or without a timeline, but at the same time they also teleported there, so I think there was some form of time left. Otherwise, how would a time machine teleport to a area without time? So I'm gonna say for logical reasons as well as just safer reasons, Goku is not like in he's not like in the inaccessible or immeasurable speed. I'm gonna say he's infinite speed, right? Also, for before anyone mentions the Tournament of Power, I'd like to add that the Grand Priest created a dimension in there so that they could all, breathe, and so that gravity existed there and whatnot. And he was applying the gravity and he was applying gravity to each individual of the 80 something members out there to make sure that they couldn't fly. Anyhow, um, that's Grand Priest was pretty much making sure that they weren't going too wild. Now Topo his energy might have very well changed the entire world of Void, but the world of Void, I'm gonna be honest, that it's not that impressive to me. I guess like the world of Void is still inside the timeline. It's still inside the timeline, meaning that it's just another realm that's infinite. So the realm is without time and without space, but at the same time, Goku, the time machine teleported to the second Zeno. They're moving in this realm, so I'm gonna say that they were affecting the dimension rather than the dimension Grand Priest created, rather than the whole realm. It That's just how I see it. But yeah. Now to continue, Goku's really Goku gets way stronger with Ultra Instinct. Consistently said to be above the gods of destruction, but clearly shown later on in the later arcs that Beerus is still way above him. So cap. Anyhow, I'd have to say that Goku's speed is still only. I hate to say this in a weird way. It's still only infinite. That's the most bizarre thing you could say. Like, how fast are you? It's only infinite. But anyways, his speed is infinite. His power range is he can affect. He could destroy probably quadrillions of hundreds to possibly thousands of quadrillions of universes. But 5D is just what I'm just gonna call it 5D. At this point, and yeah, now on to Ben. Now Ben's scaling is a lot shorter, fortunately, and he does have some interesting hacks such as toe pick, which is in the Omniverse show. If I want, should I include the Omniverse show? It's a genuine question I have, but nah, I'm not gonna include it, I guess. But NRG is one of the first problems I'm gonna ask slash have. NRG is definitely not Goku's level or of speed, but if NRG or Ben, I should say, is able to convince Goku to let him like power up and stuff, which I feel like Goku would let him do that. Goku's not like a dishonorable person. Like, he's not gonna just attack you midway powering up. That was a whole thing in the Tournament of Power with Android 17 just getting the job done. And Goku wants to test himself too, and he also wants to make sure that the future generation's strong enough too. So I'm willing to say that he'll let Ben transform into NRG, or NRG is already in the battle, and then Ben just has to convince him to let him get out of the suit. After NRG gets out of the suit, here's where it becomes a problem. So NRG, it has this suit to contain his power and his radiation. Goku's gonna have a problem with radiation. Sorry, Goku has cells, believe it or not. He also got a heart virus at one point. Goku has shown weaknesses. He does need food and water. He definitely needs to, he needs food and water. He can have heart diseases or heart issues. And presumably he has cells like ours. There's no proof that his DNA has a particular resistance to radiation like ours. He might have a stronger resistance, yes, but it's not like flat out immune. So hypothetically, Ben could try to transform into NRG or something and try to irradiate him. But if that would take quite a while, so that implies that he'd have to be there long enough for Goku to get irradiated. But at the same time, if NRG gets powered up, that could be accelerated exponentially. But there's also the fact that he does have some good options, such as he has Atomics, who made a literal star. Like, he made a green star, and as you know, with the colors of the stars, it's red, yellow, and blue. in the orders of magnitude slash power, and that's also for the spectrum. So green would be in between that. So his star is arguably stronger than ours. It still releases ultraviolet radiation, too. So there's that. So I'd have to say that if Ben straight up doesn't just try to irradiate Goku, which I don't think is in his character, but if he's in a killing mood, then yeah, he might try something like that. And additionally, Atomics with that said star will, could possibly try to, I don't know, maybe blow up the Earth. Yeah, I don't like to usually say this, and I'm not 100% sure, but it does seem like a good solution. If you blow up the Earth, there is no oxygen, and in turn, you die. Frieza did it, and they ended up having to undo it because either Vegeta got killed by the blast, which I doubt, or without the oxygen, he just died. So, way big, Atomics and Alien X are all three suitable options for Ben to just destroy the Earth. Um, Alien X, well, let me put it this way. Alien X is 6D. Now, why? During the Omniverse show, I meant, when I said I'm not going to use the Omniverse, I meant as in the sense of I'm not going to use the aliens from Omniverse. But the scaling applies nonetheless. So, Ben with Scourge turns Chromostome's arm into the Celestial Sapiens DNA, and the Quantumalia are 5-dimensional, and they were like, you won't be able to break through. Once we can't even break through the shield, which solidly scales to that 6D probably, or at the very least, yeah, I'm gonna say 6D actually. But yeah, that it's probably more than likely 6D, and then Alien, he just casually cuts through it. That's not even full Alien X. That's just his arm. So hypothetically, something like someone from the Omniverse, like a Composite Ben 10, would have access to more of Alien X's power and DNA, and at that point, it's just able to affect a 6-dimensional construct, or a construct that not even 5th-dimensional beings could affect. We don't know how strong the Quantumalia are, but they can casually create universes, and that really deserves a video in and of itself with how strong the Ben 10 verse is, but yeah, Ben beats Goku, I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say that he has to transform off the bat into something like Alien X or straight up Atomics and then just try to irradiate slash nuke Goku. But Ben 10 wins mid difficulty. However, Xenogoku or Composite Xenogoku versus Omniverse Ben 10 is a different story. Or is it?